Well, hello there. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Julie. I am on a health journey. I was just eating some carrots, so gotta work all those out of my teeth. I have had a wacky weekend. We had lots of emotional ups and downs in my family. Our family is going through a lot right now. We are in the proverbial refiner's fire of life where we are burning out the gunk to make our family stronger, better, healthier in every way. And boy, what a weekend. I had some really dark moments. My husband did, my kids did, and it was painful. Oh God, it was painful. And it was so liberating and healing and cleansing and clarifying. I took down almost everything off of our walls in the first floor of the house. And I'm going to be doing the same thing downstairs when I have time this week. I'm still commuting. My daughter has 5 more weeks of this specialized treatment, so I'm going to be gone every day. I made tough choices on getting rid of things and then took a whole bunch of stuff down. I'm going to talk more about it, get into it more. But we made so many tough choices and dug deep into the difficult things in our lives, in our family, and it was that kind of a weekend. And it was so hard. And yesterday I barely ate, and I'm paying for it today because the only things I did eat were a couple of processed Atkins, like low carb Quest type snacks, because I just couldn't eat. I was so, my mind was a million miles an hour, and that happens to me in these very deeply emotional states of mind where I'm grieving, I'm processing, I'm struggling, I'm, all of that. It's one or the other. It's either I want to overeat or I just can't eat. And it's a weird dichotomy, but I think some of you can relate. And then with the Atkins processed stuff, you got to be careful with that stuff because of what's in it. If that's all you eat, even if you don't eat very much, but that's what you eat, your guts, they're gonna let you know. They are going to let you know. So be careful. I packed my food today. I should be fine today. I still don't have much of an appetite because my mind and my body are so twisted up in all of this. Good energy, bad energy, excitement, fear, just all of it. We're going through a lot in our family, in our marriage, in all of it, and it's so hard. But I feel like, just like I was saying, the refiner's fire, the smelting process, the whatever, we have got to go through this to get the junk out, to get the gunk out, to make things clean and ready for the best state that our family can be in, that our marriage can be in. Sometimes you have to go through hell to get to your heaven. I think that's where we're at right now. I don't know. It's so weird, and I feel so like existential because my daughter and I had this amazing conversation on our way up here this morning about all this stuff that I was taking down from the walls, these things that I thought were so important to me and that I thought I loved so much that were just covered in dust. Things that I haven't looked at. They've been in my view, they've been on the walls, but I haven't looked at them since the last time, or since I put them up, or since the last time I took stuff down, maybe to decorate for a holiday or something. How important can they be? And my husband asked me that. He's like, I'm worried because aren't these things, this stuff's important to you, whatever. And I'm like, is it important? what I'm always saying to my kids, well, that item must not have been that important to you because you had it in a pile of garbage under your bed. How much could it really have meant to you? And so then I'm applying it to myself now, and I'm like, how much did this or that or the other really mean to me beyond when I first received it, got it, saved it, made it, bought it? How much does it really mean to me because it's here covered in dust and I can't even think of the last time I looked at it? I'm a dumpster diver. On our main channel, The Frugal Family, yeah, I'm a dumpster diver. I bring in so much randomness that then I have the obligation to do something with because I saved it, I brought it in, and a lot of it I enjoy. But then there's no cohesion. It's just this eclectic, which being eclectic can be a good thing. But I feel like what has happened in our home over the last several years, we've brought in so much of this eclectic treasure, if you will, without any real plan and only this need and obligation to do something with it, to put it up, to try and appreciate it and give it a second life, that it ended up being this kind of muddled, overpowering presence situation in our home. My daughter's gotten me into like crystals and energy and stuff like that. You guys know I'm agnostic atheist. I have, my own thoughts that way. But she's really gotten me into that. This just like your energies and your space. And even if all that is just totally woo-woo nonsense, the reality is the more clutter you have, the more things you have that don't bring you joy, if I can, quote Marie Kondo there, the more things that you have that are just taking up the literal space in your house and the space in your mind and all that, the more of that you have, the harder it is to be peaceful and happy and present, because it's all there. And especially if you're like me and you deal with ADHD or ADD, there's too much stimulation, there's too much to see, there's too much to look at, so that it's overwhelming, and really you don't end up looking at anything. You don't end up appreciating or enjoying any of it because there's just too damn much to focus on. And I feel like that's what has happened in our house because of the dumpster diving, the saving, the salvaging, even the amazing gifts and treasures that have been sent to us, gifted to us by our just fabulous viewers. I think because there's this lack of rhyme or reason and just so much volume in such a small space, it got out of hand. And when in the process of creating or thinking I was creating something amazing and magical, I ended up creating clutter and dust and stress. And that wasn't helping. So interestingly, I took down a lot of stuff that I was able to get rid of to move on. I'm like, this is just garbage. This is garbage. So get rid of it, throw it away. Then I have piles of things that I'm going to be donating this week. Going to make several donation trips. I'm just going to load up the van the night before, and that way while I'm up and around here, I can take it over to the DI, that's Desert Industries, biggest like thrift store secondhand situation in Utah, and I can drop stuff off. But there's some things that the family and I have agreed that we're just going to put that in a tote in the driveway. We'll cover it, protect it, and we're going to see what things call back to us. There's been 2 so far for me that I'm like, oh, I missed that item. I look at that item every day. There's only 2 so far that have come to mind that I'm like, I really do love those. So I'm not getting rid of those. And eventually I will put them back up. But I do want to patch the walls. I want to paint. I want to just cleanse and freshen and rejuvenate and revive our space. And we're going to do cleansing. Like we've bought sage to smudge. We've got crystals. We're doing the whole thing. Because why not? Why the hell not? We can use all the help we can get. in my family right now from whatever power or energy or who cares? We can use it in our family right now. So, and plus it's time for spring cleaning anyhow. So we're putting all this stuff out, but we're going to enjoy several months of a clean space, of empty walls and empty floors, and just kind of see how it feels. Part of what spurred this is that I am spending so much time at my siblings' house, where it's my brother and sister share a house. It's just them. Neither are married. They're busy with careers and graduate school, and there's not kids. There's not any of that. And so it is so spacious. I mean, it's bigger than my house. Okay. But there's not the clutter. It's big, empty walls. And I've been spending so much time up here while my daughter is, getting her treatments, that it's been affecting me. I've been feeling peace, other than the neighbors that live below them. God, there's that. But just the ambiance of it has been so peaceful. And then I go home and it's just, my mind is overwhelmed. And I'm like, I can't, something's not working here. Something's wrong. Something's not working. And so we had this passionate weekend of emotions and blow-ups and working and talking through all this stuff as a family, as a couple, whatever. And it was like, this is the time. This is the time to do this. We're cleaning out emotionally and mentally. We're getting all this shit out on the table and working it out. Let's do it with the house too. Let's clean this place out. And let's have just peace. So we set a date. Well, not an exact date, but we said July. Okay, so by July, because then I'm going to, do a yard sale or whatever. So we're going to have clean walls, freshly painted walls, and we're going to enjoy just the freedom and openness of that. It makes the house feel so much bigger. My little tiny house feels so much bigger. We're going to do that, and we're going to just see how it feels in our family, in our minds, in our hearts, whatever. We're going to see how that feels. And then any items that we were like, God, I really missed that thing. I really enjoyed seeing this thing. That thing really brought me joy. If it's one of the things that we've held on to, then okay, all right, let's find a place for it. Let's plan it out. Olivia wants kind of a theme to the house. She said, Mom, Olivia's my oldest daughter, who's dealing with so much already. She's like, there's no theme. There's, it's all just higgledy-piggledy. Those are my words. She's like, there's no theme. And it's too much for my mind. And I'm like, okay, I agree. Because there is no theme. It's been so eclectic and so just random. With lots of Disney. There's been lots of Disney in there, but so random. And lots of upcycling and my crafting and whatever. We want to do it intentionally this time. We want to clear it all out. We're just moving in. And then plan it out. And bring in the things that really matter to us, that we really love. And do it with an idea in mind of what we're trying to create together as a family, and not just what Mom happens to bring in, what Mom happens to create, what we happen to receive, and trying to make all that work, because it's too much. Shout out. Thank you, Trish. Thank you so much for the very generous purchase of 2 Buy Me a Coffees. I just saw that pop up while I was editing this video. So now I got to have some coffee. And that's never a bad thing. Thank you so much, Trish. It just wasn't working. Okay. So the plan is in July, we decide what things. And then whatever else, it either goes in the yard sale or we share it. We give it out as gifts on our main channel. That's the other thing. I do so much upcycling and crafting, and I love doing that. I love upcycling. I love crafting. But it's the process of creating that I love. It's the same with Lego. It's the same with Minecraft. It's the same with almost anything. I love the creative process. But the actual finished project, A, I don't have room for it. And B, there have only been a select couple of things that I was actually truly in love with. and that really meant a lot to me that I enjoy on a daily basis. Most of them, it's just, okay, I made this, now what am I going to do with it? So why force myself to keep it when I have so many viewers and friends on our main channel that are like, oh, I would love to buy something like that, or I would love to have something like that. Why can't I gift those out? Gift out that piece of me, that piece of my heart, that piece of our saving and salvaging, and gift it out to one of our viewers. I think that makes more sense. I think that makes so much more sense to me. We could do, a monthly giveaway, or I don't know, or, our Patreon friends and Buy Me a Coffee friends and, PayPal friends that put so much into our channel financially. Why not just randomly draw one of their names and send something out so that I still get to have that creative fun, that process of upcycling something, crafting something, because that brings me so much joy. And it's a great outlet for me. But then not feel like I have to keep it in my home and try to force myself and my family to enjoy it in our home, where it just contributes to the stress and the clutter. Why not gift it out? It just makes more sense. And it's not like a lot of those things, they're not things that I can take and donate to the DI or the thrift store. Those are things that are going to likely end up, back in the dumpster, because they're not for everybody. They're my creativity. They're my creations that not everyone is going to appreciate. But our core audience, over our 3 channels as the Frugal family, these are my people that get my flavor of madness and will appreciate those things that I create. So why not do that? It just makes more sense. It really makes more sense. Even just talking about this and getting this out there, I feel so woo-woo and like new age and like hippie and whatever. And what the hell's wrong with that? Nothing's wrong with that. Look at all the things that we profess to believe in as a society and the things we get into. What the hell? Why not? Crystals, energy, cleansing, blah, blah, blah. Why not? Why not? Because it feels good. And it feels like my family is turning a corner, and we still have so many fights to fight and battles to wage and shit to clean out. But I do feel like we've turned a page, we've turned a corner. Any other cliches and shit that you want to put out there, we're doing that. And to facilitate the emotional process, the figurative process, we have to do it physically too. And it's a lot of work, especially in this crunchy old body, but it's also like empowering and liberating and energizing too. My husband, he was like, what is going on? This is, it freaked him out. He thought, I was having a fall apart. And maybe I was. If I'm honest with myself, yeah, maybe I was. Maybe I was. Maybe a big part of me was having a fall apart, or planning an escape route. If I really am honest with myself, yeah, maybe I was. I probably was. But that wasn't the only thing to it. It was also that just like my soul, my mind needed to just clear it out. Clear out my mind, clear out my space, come to grips and be honest with the reality that I have let this get like this. My family, we have let the emotional damage happen and that kind of stuff. But the actual space in our home, I did that. That was my contribution, for better or worse. I did that, and I need to clean that part out. And we each have our own things that we've brought to the table, good, bad, and in between, that we each need to be responsible for and clean it out. Be accountable for it, and then do something about it. Anyway, I'm feeling, I'm just in this like very woo-woo, reflective, existential place today. And so, of course, I'm sharing it with you. I do need to get my body right today. You can't just not eat. That's not healthy. And especially with my long history of disordered eating, we can't do that. So I've got to get on track that way. And so I'm going to set timers on the phone. Okay, it's time to eat. Okay, it's time to eat. On the way up here, I had, my open bag of carrots and was eating those just to make sure I'm having something that's not just processed thing, and that I'm having something, eating. And so I'm going to do better with that today. It is Valentine's. I'm not sure what we're going to do. I don't see us going out for a date night. Thursday's our date night. Maybe we'll go out for a family dinner tonight, or we'll put candles. Waving to my sibling's neighbor. Maybe we'll put candles on the table at dinner. Our family dinner that we're still doing, going strong. I don't know. I'm not sure. And I haven't written up this week's menu. I need to do that. Guys, I just feel like I'm in this place where it's like, I want to smile so much that it feels like it's breaking my face, and I want to cry because I'm so full of like these emotions and whatever. But it feels good. When you get like a deep tissue massage and you just feel like you're going to pee your pants and you're just screaming, sometimes into a pillow, sometimes just out loud, because it hurts so fucking much. Those deep tissue, those Swedish massage, God, it hurts. But then all of a sudden you find, I can stand up straight, and I can walk without a limp. God, I want to kill this massage therapist, but at the same time, I love them, adore them, and appreciate them. They saved me. That's what it feels like. Yeah, I'm just in this like deep thoughts place. If you hadn't noticed. Anyway, thanks for letting me share all this with you. Holy cow. Today's a long one. And I appreciate you guys being my sounding board and my support system and letting me get all of this out in this safe kind of community and environment where I can do all this and process all this with you, because it means a lot to me. It just really does. This is one of the hardest times of my life, and this means a lot, having this place that I can come to while I sit in my car and confess to you all that is happening and all that is. Our little confessional. Anyway, what's going on with you guys? What gunk do you need to clean out? What stuff do you need? And you don't have to feel like you got to put it in the comments, because it's some pretty personal stuff. I get that. Not everyone wants to be, this big open book, but what do you need to clear out and clean out physically, mentally, emotionally? And what are you going to do about it? Because if you don't do it, who's going to? And what is it holding you back from? And then who gets to deal with it when you die? I know that went pretty grim all of a sudden, but think about it. I'm a dumpster diver, okay? I've seen people clean out, grandma's house, their parents' house, and have to deal with everything that's left behind. And it's this huge emotional process. And I don't want my kids to go through that. I want to have everything already cleaned out and as ready as possible for when that time eventually comes, so that my kids don't have to go through that. Remember, we went through all that, after my daddy, rest in peace, after he died. And then, my mom had to sell the house. And so we were having to go through all that. It was so much during an already just horribly painful time. I don't want my kids to go through that. So what stuff, guys, do you need to clean out and get in order to make your life better, your family better, and for the sake of those that get to clean up after you? Things to think about. Things to talk about. I'm going to go in the house now. I'm going to play some Minecraft. I'm going to have some coffee. That's what I'm going to do. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I'll talk to y'all real soon, okay?